The secondary roads group has done a good job with the roads. We get a few calls, but not many. I mean, with the mess they've had to work with. Supervisor's office for tech speaking. Yeah. Why don't we put you on speakerphone and you can talk to the group. Okay, I'll go ahead and put you on speakerphone.
Press hold.
Then hands for then
Get the flash.
Hi, Ron.
Howdy.
Hello, Ron.
No, this is a good time to catch yours.
Perfect. Perfect timing.
I see. I was just going to say, I talked to Mike and he didn't have time to make me a report, so we went and visited over the phone. And basically, we've been plowing pavement and gravel. We worked Saturday on the pavement and the gravel, and Sunday they worked just on the pavements. And of course, today now we're back out working on all of them, trying to push the big drifts back.
Ron, yesterday we received a call from Keith Green residence, and I left a message for Mike.
Okay.
It was 1089 180th Street. They've got a Galva address, but it's in Sac County, and the residence is on a level B road, and they were asking about the rules about what our requirements were for cleaning them out, but they weren't getting cleaned out in a timely fashion. And so then I called and I left a message with Mike, because I got his voicemail, and would you check on that to see if he's checked with them?
Give me that address. It was Keith.
Keith Green, and it's 1089 180th Street, and it's evidently on the level B's. It has to be level A to one side or the other of the residence, correct?
I would think it should have been, yes.
And so we have a responsibility of cleaning them from one direction or the other. And there's so many nooks and crannies, and this has been so difficult this year that we've got a handful of calls. But I was just saying before you called there, you guys have really done a nice job, just because of the difficulty of the level of snow that we've had.
Yeah, just the blowing and everything, and we've got quite a few comments. Of course, we've got our share of complaints too,
but we gave.
They try to get everybody. Once of course, payments are our first priority, and then once we get the payments under control, then we try to start hitting the gravel to make sure that everybody's got a way out one way. I guess I didn't ask Mike, but I guess I thought by Friday night he probably had everybody out one way, but there could be some people that got missed too.
Right, and we said that we would call, and so if you check on that, I'd appreciate it.
Because it was worse in the western part of the county,
yeah.
so...
Yeah, Ron, a lot of people didn't get out Friday night.
Okay.
I know, like, in my neighborhood, they came through Saturday morning.
Because I know Mike shoved a lot of motor graders from the eastern part further west
Yeah.
on Saturday to try to, help those guys out over there.
But, I think the graders see where, farmers have got people out, and I think they take that into account that they're out.
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah. The one question, we've touched on it before is, sometimes like on Friday, it's, I guess protocol is, I guess where I'm going with, sometimes I wonder if they'd be better off just, doing a one-way pass so that people can get out rather than winging it back on both sides. Like south of my dad's, or that neighborhood, they winged out a B road Friday night, and Needham Avenue they didn't open till Saturday. You follow me? I mean, I know that's difficult because you got different people you know, in neighborhoods they aren't always in. But that's a comment that, you know, you probably get every storm is, you know, people wonder why they work, you know, on both sides of the road really winging it out when, you know, they can make an initial pass and get, you know, people open at least.
Yeah.
Because it takes a
when
certain,
they make this initial pass, and I don't know, I guess I didn't ask Mike, you know, what instruction he's given those guys for sure.
yeah. But it's, they did, like Rick said,
You know, one pass just to get them open. Sometimes they go down the road one way and then have to come back anyhow, and so while they're coming back, they'll go ahead.
yeah. And I think, you know, I think that's what you're seeing.
Some of that, you know, I mean, you see
Yeah.
some of that, and then, like you say, if you're sending other people over into help out, you know, if they're going down the road, yeah, they're gonna, you know, they're gonna try to push snow if they can do any good.
You know, and, oh, like on a road by me, it's a level B, and there's one person living on it, instead of just, you know, opening a quarter mile and trying to turn the grader around in the road and go back to the pavement, they go the whole mile on the B.
Yeah.
Because it's, in the whole scheme, it takes them about as long to turn around on a gravel road, where the grader is, you know, they just keep going and blast out the whole mile.
Yeah, and sometimes it depends how bad it is. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
If we get another blow, you know,
Yeah.
another snow and another blow, we've probably, you know, some of them we are going to have to, you know, just get to the place and turn around and go back the other way.
What about breakdowns or anything of huge consequence on trucks or graders?
I guess Mike hasn't made me aware of anything major. But, you know, the snow's hard on everything, and I'm sure they're bending bush arms and shearing pins, but I guess I haven't heard anything major.
Do we have any snow blowers, Mike?
No, we do not. No, I mean, we've got some guys hired that have snow blowers.
Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know whether we actually had one or not.
No, we do not.
Yeah, that's a question someone asked me, if we ever considered buying a blower, and I said they're, you know, without knowing specifics, I said they're probably very expensive, and maintenance, there's a lot of upkeep.
Yeah, yeah.
That, you know, going down the road when we inherit 71 from the golf course to Early, there's a cut in that road that about the only way you can open it was with a blower.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just north of Paul Battine's, about a mile, and I went by there last night coming back from somewhere in Cook Township, and boy, that's, you know, that's going to be our responsibility in so many years.
We'll have to keep that in mind when they want
Yeah.
to do their transfer.
Yeah, and I don't know why, I don't know that the DOT looks at that very often, but, you know, I don't know if they've tried to buy more right away to make more of a ditch section in there to, you know, store more snow, I don't know.
But anyway, you know, from my part, you know, I've got a lot of compliments, and people have been very understanding.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, some of the people that have been out in the country for a long time understand. And some of the new ones that don't.
It's the new ones.
They just moved out there and they don't understand why, you know, why we don't have them out by 6 o'clock in the morning.
And they call, the newcomers, they call, you know, longtime residents to help them get scooped out.
Yeah.
And they don't talk to them at all on a sunny day in July, and don't have, and complain about their odors. You know, I talked to my cousin at a soup supper last night, and he raises a few pigs, old and new fashioned, and it's got a newcomer in the neighborhood that all of a sudden became real friendly.
Yeah, because you're right, some of the people come out and, well, they don't even have four-wheel drive vehicles.
No.
And then they have nowhere to push snow.
Yeah, and you know, and the graders come by, sometimes if they don't raise their wing, they kind of fill their lane, you know, shut again, and
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm sure Mike gets calls about that.
yeah, yeah.